we curse a fucking lot.
I do this way better than you. You know I do this shit way better than you. You know I do. You know I do. You know I do this shit way better than you. You know.
Welcome, and thank you so much for joining us this week. My name is TJ Wild.
I'm Calvin AG.
What you doing, yo?
Nothing. Just chilling.
Word up. Good old beer. All right, this week, vodka, Pinnacle. You know how we do. It's critical. I don't know where I'm going. For more corny lines, don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel right below here. Also, you can find us on YouTube at YFBFB. One quick search, 5 letters will be right there. Like that shit, and we will be eternally in your debt. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's time to talk about Ant-Man. This past weekend, the Ant-Man sequel called Ant-Man and the Wasp came out. Might as well call it The Wasp and Ant-Man. Because in my mind, the star of the show was really the Wasp.
I agree.
You know, she really did her motherfucking thing. Like, they really made sure to push the girl power for this movie. Because if you think about it, you know, you got the Wasp. The main villain was a chick. You know, we had the female versus female dynamic.
Then you had Janet Van Dyne at the end, and she was definitely pivotal in the movie as well. So yeah,
being able to heal ghosts.
Precisely.
Yeah, so that was pretty cool. Let's go ahead and start at the top. We'll talk about Scott Lang, Paul Rudd. Funny as always.
Yep. World's greatest grandma. Yeah.
That was pretty funny. The only thing that I would say that I had a problem with is you're supposed to be the hero. I know I just got done praising the female girl power, if you will. His role in it was definitely more of the comic relief side, which is fine. But at the same time, if it's your movie, you know what I'm saying?
I mean, I disagree because he did have a huge part of it, and in my mind, while like Ant-Man was the star of the movie, Scott was just as a bigger part of it. Like his relationship with his daughter, that to me was one of the biggest parts of the movie.
Yeah, that was.
And that was the star. I mean, as far as that was the emotional. I guess like that was one of the biggest emotional parts of the movie, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, yeah, he was definitely comic relief, but they established in the first movie that she was better at the job. Like she trained him.
That's true.
In other words, you have to know how to punch.
I was in prison for 3 years. I know how to punch.
Show me. Terrible.
You want to show me how to punch? Show me.
And the only reason she wasn't in the suit was because her dad was like shook about
because of his mom, because of her mom.
Yeah, so arguably, I mean, yeah, she was better. Except I mean, he can turn giant, which is cool. But yeah, going what you said real quickly, yeah, comic relief definitely was his thing. Like the casting is always great with Marvel, but they did their thing with Paul Rudd. Like he fit this role perfectly. It made sense in the first movie. It made even more sense now. So shout out to Paul Rudd.
Best parts with him for me, the suit malfunctioning throughout the whole shit. Like that's where
that
the whole
was hilarious.
That was your whole comic relief right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally. Like the school scene for one. The suit. They had that man looking like a damn second grader.
Oh my god!
You know what I'm saying?
The constant. What is it? When he got really big in the closet, and he got real small, and it's all like pushes the button to stop working, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Come on, man. Come on. Every time, here's Wasp. All right, come on. Let me adjust your shit.
Yeah.
Now I'm a kid. Now let's go into the classroom. Let's get that trophy. Oh, come on.
Come on. You almost got it. You almost got it. Oh my god! And then what is it?
Here you go.
And then the comedy where he got in the van and he was like, "You want your juicy juice or your string cheese?"
Oh, you really have some? It's like, oh God, Scott, stop it.
So yeah.
And then also another scene that I thought was awesome with that was when Janet inhabited Scott when they were standing in front of the quantum tunnel. That was
weird.
Yeah, to say the least.
To say the
least. But you know the way that they played it as if it was really Michelle Pfeiffer, though. And like we were talking before the show previously a few nights ago, how you felt like he embodied Michelle Pfeiffer in that scene to make it, more.
Yeah, like in my mind, I mean, maybe he it could have just been like any woman that he just saw acting, but in my mind, maybe he saw her act out the scene, and then was like, maybe she acted out the scene just to like have him emulate what she does. I don't know, but I thought he did a good job with that. So yeah, it was a little weird, but I saw why it worked in the context of the story.
Definitely so. Definitely so. And props to the actors for that scene for like, how many times do you think they had to refilm that shit?
Oh, probably tons.
You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, it's okay.
Probably tons. Yeah, they probably had to refilm that a ton of times, and also the we'll talk about later the Luis like recap scene where they had to do.
Oh yeah.
They mouth what he was saying. They probably were cracking up like.
I'll guarantee when the Blu-ray comes out, they're probably gonna have at least 5 minutes of that shit alone.
Oh yeah,
the recap scene and the fucking Michelle Pfeiffer imitation
with
scene.
The Blu-ray alone, yeah, definitely. But yeah, you have anything for Paul or else or no?
Yeah, one last thing I wanted to speak on was about how they explained at the beginning why he was absent for Infinity War because he was on lockdown for 2 years, and you know the exchange between him and Jimmy Woo. Randall Park, I'll save that for the end. I put him in the etc. part as far as characters are concerned. So we'll get to him in a second. But let's go ahead and talk about the WASP here for a second, whose movie, like I said, it pretty much was. Like, she destroyed the game. She got busy in that motherfucking kitchen, man.
Oh, yeah, that kitchen scene was awesome.
Off the chain, dude.
Running on the knife.
Take that salt shaker.
Yeah, it
Juice
was
the blaster.
so good.
Oh, she gets blasters and wings? What the fuck, yo? Yeah, man, it's the WASP, dude. You're ill, but you're not that ill.
You're not, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you're dope, Scott, but you're better off as a thief.
Yeah. WASP definitely did the thing, like the kitchen scene, like her fighting, like the like I said, running across the knife. The action scene at the end, I know we're gonna talk about that. The entire chase scene.
Yes.
Where she flew into that van and then like took out all the guys and then like
talking about when she went under the joint and then she grew her shit.
Well, that was great, but also I'm talking about when she actually flew into there as the Wasp and like popped up.
Oh, like, that shit was dope.
Guys.
Yeah, she was flying the joint, pop up, bow, shrink, pop up, bow, shrink. Like
whoa, that.
She, man, Wasp is a bad bitch.
Yeah, she is. She's pretty bad. She's pretty bad. And she was smart, and you could tell. I like the way because we didn't really see their relationship. That's the part I thought was a little weird, but I liked it. You know, at the end of the movie, first movie, we didn't really see them get together. And then this movie, they pretty much implied, as we all knew, that they were, like, her and, like, Scott were, like, together.
Or at the very least fucking.
Like, very least, like, they were, like...
Or they want to fuck.
They were intimate.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
They cared about each other.
Yeah, I'm over here like, they banging and shit. You trying to keep it PC and shit.
But yeah, you could tell that, like, that was... But the way they did it, they never actually showed it. But the way they acted around each other and their conversations let you still kind of feel that relationship. So I appreciate they were able to do that. And
multiple times throughout the movie, Hank was just like, hey, you mind, like, stop daydreaming about my daughter long enough to fucking go save this world?
That shit was great, too. That was great.
And that's going to be an excellent segue because that's who's next on my list is Hank Pym.
Hank Pym.
Now,
the original Ant-Man.
Mike Douglas was perfect.
Oh, you know I'm good enough to be Mike Douglas? That's pretty cool.
I mean, yeah, man. I mean,
why don't you put me on, nigga? You never...
Huh?
You never told me you knew Mike Douglas. Like, that'd be pretty cool.
I mean, he's only like an A-list actor.
I know,
like,
you called him Mike like you knew him. That's what I was.
Oh!
As I was like, I mean, introduce the dude. Like, give me a small part in the movie or something. You said
that's my nigga though. You don't know,
bro.
Mike him.
I just want to clarify, like, how has he not been on Nuthin Just Chillin' and this dude knows him personally?
I mean, like, you know what I'm saying. You know how them Hollywood types be. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I see you, Mike. I'm gonna hit you up after this motherfucking show too.
But yeah, you're right. Like, but yeah, Michael Douglas. Yeah, like, he definitely had I think arguably a bigger role in this movie. I think.
Yeah, I was actually gonna write that down, but not change my mind. So I'm glad you said it.
Yeah, he definitely. I mean, he did a lot in the first movie, but he was more of a dick in the first movie, if I recall.
He was kind of dickish in this second one too.
He was dickish in this one too, actually. Yeah.
When between that whole situation with him and Bill Foster. I see that was kind of crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like the whole situation, it was basically, you know, he said between Bill and Hank. You know what I'm saying? I kind of feel like that was more important to iron out as to determine how to feel about the whole ghost situation. You know what I'm saying? Leaving that up to interpretation. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't affect the movie in any way.
But it could have been fleshed out a little bit more. I agree with you.
Right.
You're right, because there was the point of where, like, Bill basically said that, Hank screwed him over.
Right.
Essentially. And then a ghost also said that, Hank screwed over her father. So it's two people that what is it? We've been told that basically like he ruined their lives, and we've only been able to hear it from those people's perspective.
Right.
We can actually see the real situation.
Right. But yet, and I know in the first movie when they had the whole Howard Stark versus Hank Pym situation, we saw the whole background for that. You know what I'm saying? I felt like they could have taken a minute to do a little quick flashback.
I can agree with that.
You know what I'm saying? Just so I could, but other than that, like,
I can agree with that.
That was cool.
But real quick, I know we still going Hank real quick. I thought when he reunited with Janet, I think that was a good moment as well.
Definitely.
Like, meeting, like, seeing your wife for the first time in 30 years.
fucking years, yo.
Like, I thought that was, and just overall, his comedy goes back to, what is it, Hope and Scott. Between the three of them, the comedy was just on point. Like, the chemistry was definitely really good between the three of them.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yep.
And I really like the fact that they had him go after Janet and not Ant-Man or Wasp.
I agree.
So that it could build up to that moment where they end up meeting at the end, which was fucking, like you said, beautiful. You know what I'm saying?
She still got to see her mother when she got out of there, so that was good.
But you know what was not beautiful?
What?
The fucking quantum realm. That shit was scary as fuck.
That shit was a little horrifying.
Yeah, man. You know what I'm saying? We're talking.
I mean,
before the show, a couple nights ago, we were trying to. There's a name for those little pink, fucking fluffy, fucking arm thingies. I don't know what they're called, but those are real things.
They're called platypus atoms. Look it up.
Yeah, okay, yeah, and you read this from a scientific journal.
Don't look it up.
Please don't.
Look it up.
Please
you
don't.
might get something you don't want to see.
Oh Lord Jesus!
I don't know.
What are you looking at shit up on X videos or some shit? Nigga?
Oh God! Wow.
Platypus arms on X videos. I mean, you never know, niggas. Niggas
that
fap
is
over.
true.
Niggas will fap over a piece of carpet fabric, dog. Like, I'm just saying.
Which, ironically, those things we saw are probably
right
inside the carpet fabric.
Probably right. Oh, this one right there. No, I'm just playing.
Jesus Christ.
But no, Hank Pym was the shit.
Yeah, he was pretty cool.
And let's move right along to the crew, who, in my opinion, made the movie. The fucking crew made up of Luis, Dave, and Kurt.
Yes.
They were fucking hilarious. I'm so happy to see that they brought back Luis's storytelling, because that was like the highlight of one of the highlights of the first movie.
And they did it they didn't do, you remember the first movie, they did it twice. Mm-hmm. This movie, they did it one time, and it actually, I believe, was shorter than the first one.
I thought it felt longer.
Really?
I thought so.
Maybe it was, I may have to go back. You might be right. But I just remember it being one time. I remember it feeling different, I guess, in this one, but still was just as good.
Yeah.
So they captured the feel of the first one, but honestly, like, they probably made it a little bit better, I thought.
Yeah, and I think because they were only going to do it once, because they did do it twice in the last one, they might have made it maybe a minute longer, just to, you know what I'm saying?
I agree.
That's kind of how I see it right there. Yeah, so the Truth Serum part, hands down.
Oh, my Lord.
That was worth the price of admission alone.
Bro, not even just the Truth Serum, as far as him actually, like regurgitating all of the stuff that led to that scene that you're talking about.
But all the stuff
before it, like, it was like, bro, it sounds like Truth Serum. It's not Truth Serum. That's in the movies. The way you describe it, it sounds like Truth Serum.
And then just to have him at the end of the movie be like, oh,
it is Truth Serum. Yeah, bro, that was great. And they even brought it back, I think, later on, before he actually, I think after he first got shot with oh God, it is Truth Serum. It's not Truth Serum. Like, oh my God. They started talking about, like, his grandmother listened to Morrissey, and, like, it went to, like, then they had the whole, that's when we got our breakdown of what happened between Scott and Hope. We just got it in, like, a funny way.
Yeah.
Because he went to, that was great. Shout out to Luis. I mean, we could talk about, what is it, from the beginning. What is
the breakfast part?
The breakfast part.
The desk part.
The desk part.
How come I get his desk was no bigger than this motherfucker right here.
You weren't here. Like, you snooze, you lose. I was on house arrest. Like,
tough shit, nigga. Like, what you want us to do?
Like, it was, and even the end was it Luis in the car. And actually, I thought it was funny. Like, Luis kind of, like, was kind of us a little bit. Where it's like, remember he was in the car and, like, she hit the button and they went small.
Yeah.
They went big again. And then he got to drive the car and go small. Like, he kind of was us, where it's like, oh my god, I'm freaking out because I was small and I'm big.
Yeah.
And he's
yeah.
never done that before, so he kind of embodied the audience to that part.
Yeah.
Like, shout out to Michael Pena. That dude is just great.
So now I'm going to combine Bill Foster and Ava Starr because they basically were one unit throughout the whole shit. Mm-hmm. I was saying, earlier, I thought to bring authenticity to the show, it would have been cool to have Neil deGrasse Tyson play Lawrence Fishburne's role as Bill Foster, even though he's not, an actor per se, but he definitely has experience on screen, and, he's had acting roles before. So, no, he wouldn't have been on the level of an A-lister like Lawrence Fishburne, who's, like, trained for the shit. But at the same time, I just thought it would have been cool to be like, oh, he's playing, Bill Foster.
I mean, I see that. I mean, I can see. I mean, I don't think he would have done a terrible job. I think at this level, not even MCU is, I mean, arguably the biggest property when it comes to movies right now, and I think that's why they're getting nothing but big actors for these roles. And with as big a role as Bill Foster had in the movie, I don't think you could have trusted it to somebody that's done. I think he was on a Big Bang Theory on an episode, and then of course he does like speaking roles.
So like he got Star Talk, he has his talk show.
But
podcast.
Compared to Lawrence Fishburne, no, I don't think there's any comparison.
Yeah.
But I see a point. Now maybe like as an advisor in the show, that would have been cool. But
yeah, but that's behind the scenes. So.
But yeah, so
now regarding Ghost, I thought I had a couple more days to think about the shit. All in all, I thought she was kind of weak as a villain. You know what I'm saying? Like they, as far as like villains are concerned, I didn't really feel like that foreboding presence that you'll get from a lot of these villains from these movies. Like not even like Hela from Thor Ragnarok. You know what I'm saying? Just to kind of keep it on the female villain situation. Like she was on screen, she took the screen. You could feel the evil.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Coming from her. Ghost was just more like, I need to be healed. I need to be healed. I'm glitching. I need to be healed. It's like,
yeah, I see your point there. I don't necessarily use the word weak. I don't think she was a weak villain. I think that she wasn't. And keep in mind, also she wasn't. I mean, she was a villain, but she wasn't like as villainous as like a Hela,
right?
Or what is it? Obviously, what we just had Thanos,
right?
So on and so forth. Of course, Killmonger. So like as far as villain wise, she wasn't the anti-hero, obviously, but she wasn't like a straight-up villain. But I will agree with you in terms of like the lineup we've had. I want to say, correct me if I'm wrong, between Vulture in the summer last year with Spider-Man. We had Hela. We had Killmonger. We had Thanos. And even if you want to go to TV, what is it? Most recently, we had Bushmaster, Mariah Stokes.
Stokes. I would give Nightshade more credit as a villain than Ghost, and Nightshade wasn't even a really villain for real until like the end of the shit.
Yeah, I mean, okay, but I guess I wouldn't put that for. But I will say I will agree with you. Well, as far as how they've been going, as far as MCU villains have been in the past year. She does rank lower. I wouldn't say weak, but lower. I'll give you that.
But I mean, she didn't take away from the movie.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I was just kind of like,
Yeah.
But for a lighthearted movie like this, dude, I guess in retrospect, do we really want a Thanos type or a Killmonger type?
If she had been like darker, that might have made this movie darker, and it's kind of not what we wanted from Ant-Man. So maybe she worked for what she was there for.
Yeah.
I do appreciate, by the way, we're talking about Bill Foster, that conversation that he had with Scott about how big did you get.
Oh, Lord Jesus.
That conversation which also is cool because maybe we'll get Goliath. I don't think so because the guy's like old. But I mean, maybe just that dropping that hint. Maybe one day we'll get it, or maybe somebody else will take the man. I don't know.
Well, we know for a fact. We do know for a fact about one character, and we're gonna get to her in just a second. But this is the etc. part of the show right now. Just other characters, like Birch.
Yeah, Birch was Walton Goggins. I've liked him in a lot of other things. He was there. I mean, he was okay.
Pretty
He wasn't
much.
Great.
Yeah. Like the villain lineup for this shit. I know we just got done saying why.
The villain lineup is not why you come to see this movie. I think we all can agree. You come to see the main Ant-Man, Wasp, Hank, the main people. You don't come to see the villains.
Right.
Unlike Infinity War, where like Thanos was arguably the main character of the movie. You could make a case for that. If you want
for sure. Yeah, no argument here.
As far as etc., let me guess. Randall Park. I know you're gonna talk about it.
I was gonna talk about him after I talked about Cassie.
Yes.
Because they have already dropped hints. We've had like some of the filmmakers from the Ant-Man movie already say that they plan on using her down the road.
Oh,
we might be seeing her as an ant girl or a giant girl.
I cannot wait.
Things of that nature. So, and you were right because we talked about this before. How they were gonna kind of do a time jump, and they're gonna end up casting Cassie as an older lady. Well, not an older lady, but
yeah, I get like a 16, 18, maybe 20-year-old.
Right.
Yeah, like people. I think people need to realize that if you don't know already, like Marvel and MCU are in this for the long haul. So we have a Phase 4, possibly a Phase 5 in 7 years. So this is going to be going well into like 2030.
Now,
so like
I'm gonna fuck the name up. Kevin
Feige
has already said that he has plans because they were talking about what they were gonna do with the X-Men franchise. Like, have you already come up with ideas for the X-Men? Have you already come up with ideas for Fantastic Four, things of that nature? He said, no, I'm gonna wait for the deal to go through first before I start concentrating on trying to bring them into this shit. But for right now, there's such a huge pool of heroes, and you can't see it here, but it's behind the camera, but we've had it on previous shows before. So his plan is to try to utilize all those motherfuckers in the meantime.
Lord.
And like I said, you'll have to go back and watch. Well, I'll just put it up here for y'all to see. Like, that's what he's trying to fucking focus on right now. That's a lot.
Calvin AG and TJ Wild, like our inner 10-year-olds are just like, we're screaming right now. We chilling right now, but inside. And back to nothing, just chilling.
Now we chilling.
But I will say, so the plan is for her to be stature, and I just appreciate the way they're setting up these little nuggets. Like, she had that conversation where, oh, can I be a sidekick? Oh, well, no, because what is it? Hope is my sidekick. She's like, oh, okay, well,
that's
blah,
what
blah,
I
blah.
wanted for you anyway.
And also nobody knows. I don't care who you talk to. Infinity War 2 or whatever it's called, Infinity Gauntlet, whatever the name is.
Right.
We don't know what's gonna happen. Will it be a time jump? Will it be a time reverse? Will they go back and change? Nobody knows anything.
Right.
So they could do whatever they want to do with Phase 4 because this movie that we're gonna see next year, 2019. Arguably will probably fuck a lot of stuff up that we have no idea what it's going to fuck up.
Oh, yeah.
So
totally.
I could definitely see stature being something going down the road.
Totally. All right, speed round. We're about down to 5 minutes here, so let's go ahead and get in Jimmy Woo right quick.
Oh, yep. Man, Randall Park.
I've only seen a couple episodes of Fresh Off the Boat. You know what I'm saying? Funny show. You know, I wouldn't go on my way to watch it every week, but it's a good show.
It is a good show.
And I remember his appearance on $100,000 Pyramid last season as a celebrity. On there, he was funny there too.
Dude's comedic timing is on point. Like, as far as it's not just saying lines. Like, that whole line that he said on that speech he said to Cassie about
yeah. What happens if you draw on the walls at school? Don't you get in trouble? Well, your father went to Germany and drew on the walls with Captain America, and that's why he's in trouble right
and
now.
He started going to all these like article blah 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 of the Section 9 of the Sokovia Accords. Meanwhile, you can see Cassie's eyes glaze over, and then what is it? Scott's like, you're really great with kids. But yeah, what is it? Him going? What is it? Him doing the card trick?
Oh yeah,
all random. Like what? How to do what? The card trick. Like, and then of course that ending conversation, which we both love.
Oh yeah.
It's like, I'll be seeing you again soon, Scott. Wait, what?
And you could tell Scott was just fucking with it because he knew that he was gonna take the bait.
It was
and roll
so great.
with
It was like, I'll be seeing you again. I'll be arresting you again. Okay, I thought you wanted me to like take me out to dinner or something, to go to dinner or something. Like, no, I don't want to do. Did you want to go to dinner? Like I said, I don't know if we're gonna see the guy again because it wouldn't be relevant if he was there. But if he showed up for like 10 seconds and did like some little
just to have a
thing,
line,
that would be great. On point.
I'd be okay with that. Last person we talk about before we get to the ending is Janet Van Dyne.
Yes, Michelle Pfeiffer. Now that's the etc. because I almost guarantee. Spoiler alert, because we've already said this at the beginning. We know she gets dusted at the end of the movie.
Right.
But based on what they've set up, I think they've set up a lot with what will happen in the MCU going forward. Like, as far as that power that she has, where she was able to heal Ghost. Mm-hmm. She mentioned briefly, before Scott went into the, quantum realm, about, like, watch out for the time, whatever they said, the time things. maybe that will play a part in the MCU. But I'm going almost positive. You don't sign someone like Michelle Pfeiffer and use her for arguably 20 minutes of a movie.
Word.
So we're going to see a whole lot more Janet Van Dyne. So this is what we'll probably save for a whole nother podcast.
And then also, since it's going to tie into the ending, we're going to talk about that now. Holy fucking shit. Like, here's 2 hours of some happy comedy. Ha ha ha. Everybody's having fun. And then you walk away with the same feeling you had after you saw Infinity War. Like, you're just like, oh, God.
And
the world really is fucked. This place is horrible.
Well, how was your movie theater like? Do you remember?
It was packed as shit.
And, do you know what their reactions were? Do you remember what it was? Like,
Oh man, damn! Oh, like we had totally forgot about that shit, and then Marvel's like smack you back to reality.
Do you know what's funny? In my movie theater, we saw it. I think some of us kind of knew what was going to happen, so they put him in the quantum realm. He grabs the stuff they need for Ghost, which is also, they mentioned that we're going to see Ghost again, because they mentioned for our ghostly friend or whatever they said.
Right.
They count down, and then the thing, like, the radio crackles, and like half the people in my audience was just like, oh shit.
Oh.
And as soon as it cuts to it, the way they set it up, dude, it was so eerie. Like, they didn't show the whole arms disappearing.
Right.
They just cut to just 3 dust piles.
Right.
Just, they hit you right in the heart, man. And then, of course, that final ending scene was creepy and also
dumb as fuck.
funny
You
and
talking
stupid.
about the ant shit?
Yeah, it was kind of stupid.
That was fucking dumb.
But it was a little eerie with the whole, like what is it? Beep. That was a little eerie.
Yeah,
but
this is not a test, situation like that.
But overall, I know you got to stay back for the credits, the post-credit scenes, but the mid-credit scene on this one was the ending of the movie. Like,
yeah. I'm going to tell you straight up, if you haven't seen it yet, I just wanted to say, leave after the fucking disintegration. Because there's no point to sit around and see an ant play the drums for 2 seconds.
Yeah, it wasn't great.
It was almost like, I could see Groot doing that shit, but Groot's actually funny.
Groot's funny, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
It's almost kind of like the fuck over they did with Captain America with at the end of the movie. What is it, Spider-Man? Where you had the whole... the whole ending... The ending scene was with Spider-Man where, like, Captain America's like, you know what's... virtuous about this? Patience.
Oh, you're talking about the video that he did in the classroom. Yeah, now that's worth staying for.
Actually, that was pretty great. I take that back. That was great.
That was worth.
That was way better than the Ant-Man shit.
No shit, dude.
Yeah. What would you give as far as your rating is concerned?
I'm gonna take away a point because again, we had the conversation about the villains, but you can't excuse that shit. So I'm gonna take away a point for that shit. 7.5.
Okay.
7.5. It was a great movie. It was an excellent movie. But and then there was that whole Hot Wheels situation that we don't really have time to get into now. We had a not huge, but a nice debate about this off camera. Yeah. But if we want to talk about it later, we'll maybe on another episode.
Maybe when we watch the Blu-ray when it comes out in 5 months, we'll discuss it again.
Word.
But I would say mine's along the same lines. Now, granted, we've only watched the movie. Well, I watched it twice actually, so I'm pretty solid to say it probably was I'd say 8. Yeah, so we're about the same.
That's a 7.5 if you average it together.
Honestly, it really is. Like, I mean, the movie was not outstanding to me, but it was good. It was what I expected. So yeah.
Yeah. No.
Anything else you want to say? What is it?
No. I was just gonna say, yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
But yeah, so final verdict, fucking go see that shit, man.
Yeah,
it's a Marvel movie from the actual Marvel people, not fucking fake ass Fox and shit. You know what I'm saying? So go see that shit.
And if your heart is hurting from like what happened a few months ago with Infinity War,
leave as soon as the credits start.
Yes. Yes.
The minute the credits start, leave.
Even if you just watch that and just remember what happened 2 hours before it, it's a fun, entertaining movie that is separate from MCU for 99% of it.
Pretty much. But it's definitely a fun time. All right, so there you have it, man. Ant-Man, definitely the movie to go see. Something that you should never tell your audience, but
wait, hold on, wait, TJ, wait a second. So, I'm a nerd. You're a nerd, right?
I'm a nerd. Yeah.
We like nerd shit. We like talking about comics. There's something big happening next week, bro.
Is there?
Yeah.
Whatever do you mean, AG?
So, anybody that knows what's going on, San Diego Comic-Con is next week.
The big deal.
The
actual fucking Comic-Con.
The big deal.
We will talk about what we expect to come through.
Precisely. Because we can expect to see DC things and a whole lot of other stuff. We're going to talk about that.
Lots of surprises.
Yes.
So we'll give our predictions on that, and then after that, we'll talk about what actually happened.
Precisely.
And in our wrap up and things that we'll be hyped for, things that sucked. Blah,
You
blah,
got
blah,
it.
blah. But other than that, I guess that's going to do it. So until next week,
I'm Calvin AG.
that's your boy TJ Wild.
What you doing, bro?
None. Just
Just chilling.
chilling. See you next week. Oh shit, yo. Hey, that's a good one right there, yo. That's a fucking good one for real. Alright. I love that.
You know I do.